Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for Game 2 between Vega and Monkey Business. I'm ODPixel here. I'm here with Draskell. The game has begun, so let's get ourselves in. And Draskell, tell us what we're about to see here. We've got a very exciting game on our hands, you know, regarding the hero pick so far.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Vega's lanes kind of roll out. I think we were talking a bit during the draft, and we kind of expected some 2-1-2s, just depending on who's going mid, if it's going to be the CK or the Sven. We'll find out shortly. And since...
it's going to be the... You're right, it's CK.
Yeah, I think the CK Wisp just has better kill potential on the heroes of Monkey Business. So you want to put the stronger lane mid to help control the runes. That way the Wisp can keep filling his bottle. It's going to be really important for this combination. But I feel like Vega, they have the tools necessary to deal with this. And you can never underestimate a Vac into a Sven stun with God Strength and some cleaving coming out that can actually be devastating.
Ooh, the wombo combo.
Yeah, on the side of Monkey Business, you have the potential for what? Alpha Wolf plus Vlad's plus level 4 Vengeance Aura. That is some serious plus damage. I think it's actually like 86, 87%, something like that. So you're almost like permanently walking around with a double damage as long as you're with your team.
It's pretty scary. I mean, we've seen a few games in DreamLeague where we've had Tinies just free hit the racks. I mean, this could be potentially happening again.
It
with
could be
auras.
a 2-hit in this game.
It could be a 2-hit. It's going to be pretty terrifying. But at the same time, as you said, Vega have the potential here with their lineup to get those wombo combos in and those pickoffs, of course, as well, with Solo on the IO. One of those heroes that he does indeed like to play and has a pretty good success rate with. But lanes overall, so this top lane, this tri lane, is it enough to deal with the Darks here? And is Mag going to have to play very carefully?
He can die super easy in this lane.
Level
this is
1
triple
Iron
stun.
Shell. He hasn't got this surge. He could die here.
He's 2 now.
Okay. But still, with the stuns, I think he might be dead. Light Strike and the Avalanche is bringing him low. Oh, tanky man.
Yeah, Miracle was trying to bait him out. He brought a lot of regen, though, so he'll be fine. He's got a salve and tangos on him. It's not really too big of a deal, but that was the old triple Iron Shell.
Look at his mid lane. No one's just going for it here.
Yeah.
He's giving it some. Forcing back Big Daddy on the Alchemist. And then so the other lane, of course, this bottom lane, the off lane Moon Meander Doom. We know the hero's pretty damn strong.
He's already got the Alpha Wolf.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Pashas should still be able to find farm in this lane, though.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Like the Doom's not going to necessarily pressure ultra hard. And I also feel like diving a Dazzle as Doom, it's one of the few heroes in lane where you look at it and you say, I can't go.
Mid lane again.
Going.
Yep, bringing back No-Tail. He does get the stun off onto no one, though.
Yeah.
He'll head himself up. And he will be fine for the time being, but we're already seeing how this CK-IO combo could be one of the answers to dealing with a mid-Alchemist.
It is very hard to lane against this as any hero, really, because especially once they start getting some levels, like level 3 on the CK right now, if Solo was level 2, the Spirits do a lot more damage to add to that, and then you can have Reality Rift on top of a stun.
Yep.
There is kill potential here. Now, when No-Tail hits 6, it's going to be significantly harder, and then Vega are going to have to rely on already having won the lane by that point and hope that even like if they don't win, they can just go for relocate ganks instead, because the Alk will get farm. It's just a matter of when.
Yes, there's going to be that point exponentially getting farther and farther ahead in terms of worth. And well, nice stun from Crit there. Straight onto the IO will ensure that Lina is able to snag herself the rune, and Solo is going to be left with that empty bottle. Bottom lane going in with the stun. This could be your first blood here. The heal from Scorched Earth. Not strong enough to keep him alive, and first blood for the Sven. Vega are going to be very happy with that beginning.
That was a real big heal bomb coming in from Seema. Was he actually? No, he was only level 2 at that time, so that was a level 1 Shadow Wave. So Sven stun on top of creeps, on top of heal.
It's a fair bit of physical damage.
Yeah, the thing is, since Shadow Wave is physical damage, and Doom has no armor pretty much, like he actually has 0, you get hit for all of it, like just pure damage. So you just get wrecked.
I mean, with the poison touch, everything that Dazzle's going to be throwing at you is isn't going to be fun to deal with as a Doom.
Yeah, it's interesting because in the first couple of picks, I thought that Monkey Business would have a lineup that's fairly hard to deal with because they have 3 very like frontline style heroes that are just going to want to run at you. But having picked Dazzle second and having Sven armor on top of that for your team, you can always use an offensive weave. And that helps you cut through heroes like Tiny and Doom, Alchemist. They all have pretty low starting armors. And that means during the mid game, your CK is going to do a tremendous amount of damage. Your Sven is going to hit for a ton. Like, you have the potential to just blow people up in fights, regardless of whether or not they're like these tanky frontliners like Monkey Business have.
And I think, as you said, as well as just using it offensively, the defensive capabilities in the sense that we've already talked about how Monkey Business are going to have a lot of right-click. With those auras, you know, with the Tiny, I mean, just stacking up the armor, that's certainly one way to deal with it. And Vega have got the heroes to do that with, and obviously with Darksea as well. We'd imagine that Mag's going to get a good timing on the mech. So there's going to be that point where they do push into Monkey Business, and, you know, maybe the Alk hasn't got a good amount of farm by that time, and Vega can exploit that weak point in the game that Monkey Business is going to have.
We'll see if they can actually get that accomplished here. A lot of it's down to lanes for Vega. Again, it's not as bad as it was last game where they couldn't win because they just had a vastly inferior draft, in my opinion. But in this game, it's going to be a lot closer, and they're still doing well in their lanes.
Yeah, they are indeed. CS slightly favoring the side of Vega at the moment. Being the fact that the biggest difference is that Moon's a little bit behind in terms of the old right clicks. That's going to be expected. Mag as well hasn't found too much, but there will be that point as well where he'll just get more and more with the Iron Shell spam in this lane, and there won't be a lot that Monkey Business can do to stop it. The stacks being created very nicely by Solo, already being prepared for whoever wishes to clear them up on the side of Vega. Bottom lane, we're going to see a bit of a rundown here, trying to move in, but Poison Touch from Seema will force Moon to think twice about diving too deeply for the Dazzle. And Seema's just going to be able to trade hits and keep him at bay here. We're seeing the power of the Dazzle and just the fact that it is going to be a very hard lane for Doom just to dive in and get kills like he would do in a lot of other situations.
Yeah, you can't go aggressive.
They're going to get the stun onto N0tail. They've got Mag turning up as well with the Iron Shells laid down. N0tail will get the stun onto Solo here. The Wave of Terror coming through as well as Fly moves in, but they've already lost the Alchemist. They'll find the kill in the mid lane and a very nice rotation there. And an unexpected one potentially as well from Mag. And it looks like off the back of that, he's going to just head into the jungle now, which will free up that top lane for Miracle.
I think this is actually... It's a little bit rough right now for Monkey Business because they don't have an answer to the lanes of Vega. Like, you can't just have your two stunning supports sit top anymore. I think you have to rotate out. And between the two of them, like...
Solo. I mean, yeah, he's got the tether.
fine.
He's fine. He's calculated. He knows he's going to be good.
But I do feel there needs to be some kind of answer for Monkey Business in the early game here. Like, the supports need to try to make something happen. They're playing it quite greedy at the moment.
I mean, look at this mid lane. No one's just going in on N0tail. He's got to be careful. He has got Fly hanging around now on this level 2 Venge, but the CS difference is massive, and they've really secured this mid lane for no one, the side of Vega.
It's like I mentioned, like putting the CK mid over the Sven just gives you the high kill potential, whereas Sven, he can chase a little bit, but you want to actually keep the enemy mid away from his tower, so Reality Rift in that sense is just a better skill to make sure that you can go for the extra damage as well, because you do get bonus damage on casting Reality Rift. You control those runes, and then you just keep throwing out spells, and the Alchemist can't stay in lane. He needs 6 very badly. He just hit 5 right now, so he will be there eventually, but for the time being, Vega definitely getting the better laning phase.
Absolutely, and well, they're going to try and go for Moon here with the Storm Hammer leading. They're looking for the body blocks here, and Pasha's going to find it, just allowing Dazzle to do the right-click damage. Moon can't get around. He's actually going to have to turn away and look to get elsewhere around the trees. There's going to be a second Storm Hammer flying through as well here. I don't know if Moon can get himself out of this one.
Oh, maybe he's fast. Nice.
They've got the stun. That's going to be a kill. Solo even turns up for a bit of a share of that action.
Doom's actually so big that he couldn't get through. And the Sven was just standing on like the top side towards the river. That's actually pretty funny that he couldn't walk through there. But again, Vega.
This is a fantastic start for the side, and I think, as you said, they just nailed it with the lanes this game. It's much better for them compared to what they tried to do last game. They're just pulling out exactly what's needed to be done. The only kind of, one of the things they've got to be aware of is the fact that Miracle is farming top, but
yeah,
well, we may start to see some kind of action across the map once Solo hits level 6, and I'm sure the Tiny may be a priority if they're able to catch him up before him picking up those huge items.
Well, Monkey Business do have some stacks to fall back on.
Yeah.
They have been stacking multiple camps, actually 3. So N0tail is going to be able to use that to, what I can only assume is make his way towards that Aghanims for Miracle. I think they're going to kind of have to go all in on him, because when you're behind as Alk, I think you just want to give your carry like the best possible potential in these team fights to just go completely ham. You already know that you have the Alpha Wolf at your disposal. You know you're going to have some Vengeance Aura soon coming out from Fly on top of that. I think it's Miracle carry or bust at this point.
And we'll see if that is the game plan indeed for the side of Monkey Business. Pasha with his treads. So it'll be interesting to see what he decides to opt for on this Sven. Are we going to see the kind of treads drums come out, or do you think we might see an early blink on the map?
I think with Wisp you don't necessarily need blink because you're so fast anyway. Like, you just go in, you pop Warcry, you got Tether on top of that.
Positioning from Moon here will dispel the smoke from the high ground, but no one's going to continue in. The Scorched Earth will be casted. Do they have the damage to break down Moon? It looks like they can with the heal bomb and the wall drops as well.
They
want the Doom dead and they'll get it. Oh, this is going to be huge if they can steal this. With the Iron Shells being spammed out, they might just be able to. Avalanche is nice, though, and they will burst down Dazzle. So Monkey Business maintaining control of the jungle for the time being. And I don't know if they'll go back in there. They do have no one. Are they going to go? It looks like Monkey Business will be fine in terms of securing the majority of this stack, at least.
Their Alk is so low.
Now they're turning in.
Oh, he's got bottle now.
Oh, no one. Stun and the Rift onto Fly. One quick swoop. There's the back of the Vengeful Spirit. Notel's trying to move in here. Does get the ult off. Now with this toss onto the IO, they'll find one kill. Now the Doom's being dropped here from Moon. They're chasing down no one. They've got a stun building up as well from Notel. They should be able to find this, and maybe Vega outstaying their welcome here in the dire jungle. Shallow Grave will give some kind of help to no one, but it's not enough. They lose the CK, and now Monkey Business, they're just turning up. And there we go, Mango time. Seema's going to get taken down as well.
That was actually enormous. Like, they lose, what, 4 heroes there, I think? They still get the stack? I don't know, man. That was very, very over-aggressive from Vega. I mean, they saw the stack and they just think to themselves, oh my god, we have to take this, you know, because they have Tiny, they have Alchemist, they're going to try to pull Miracle items, and we need to try to stop it in some way. But they just were too close to the Tiny. Like, maybe didn't notice that Miracle had rotated over from top already.
Mid lane, nice, bringing him in here. And the Spirits straight into the face of Moon. So they do get the pick-off onto Doom there. And that's the thing, the pick-off potential of Vega's lineup is fantastic, but just the farming capabilities of Monkey and also the late game potential is pretty terrifying. And Notel now sitting on the 2.8k gold here on the Alchemist. So it looks like he is, of course, just trying to get that Radiance up and running. It would be nice for Vega if they can kill him. They have just found him. He has got the ult. He will get it off. Is the regen going to be enough to keep him alive? It doesn't look like it. No, Pasha with the God Strength takes him down. And these are the kills. At this point, if they can prioritize catching out that Alchemist, it's really going to hold Monkey Business back.
What is the game plan now? Like, if you're Vega right now, I think that you actually have a pretty easy time controlling the map so long as you're ahead. So I guess they just want to go for tier 1s, like obviously smoking in, looking to see if there's any more stacks, just double checking, and then getting that nice little pick off on Alchemist is going to be great for them. They should be able to get this tier 1 no issue. They don't have Phantasm yet on no one, but he is closing in on level 9. Once he has that, their teamfight potential is going to be boosted pretty heavily. And then of course relocates can help you a lot, but Solo's not 6 yet. So we're still waiting on that relocate to come out.
Look at this, no one's still sticking around. He'd love to find Notel again. Pasha trying to move forward here with the Warcry bonus speed. See if he can close in onto the Alchemist. He's not going to go up to the high ground though. A little bit aware that Moon's hanging about. Does have the ultimate online once again. And yeah, Fly just TP's out here. Doesn't want to be caught out. Did get a nice aggressive ward down here in the Radiant jungle. But Vega at the moment, they'll just send no one back to the mid lane. Solo has nearly got relocate online, halfway through level 5. That bounty ring is going to put him nice and close to getting the level 6 top lane. Seema, he's in trouble. Miracle and Crit call him out. Killing spree here, no one moving forward, popping the drums, gets the rift onto Miracle now with the stun as well. Crit's going to have to get the light strike, and he will. He'll TP straight out here, but now with the IO turning up, they'll bring Miracle back in again, and they'll get the kill on Tiny. We talked about the fact that Miracle's having a pretty good game so far. 3 kills, 2 assists. Pretty much free farm on the top lane, and now that's the kill they need. At the same time, bottom lane, the Doom's been dropped onto Pasha. They'll find that, but there's your relocate.
Oh,
just in time, trapped in the trees. Double kill for no one. They might even find more with this boosted speed. Chasing down Fly, drums are pop, straight into the... It's going to be another one. 3 pickoffs there in quick succession for the side of Vega. And some very nice play all over the map from no one and Solo there on the IO CK combo.
In the meantime, we can see Notel taking some stacks here. Still dealing some economical damage to the side of Vega, even though his teammates have gotten picked off.
And this... Yeah, I mean, this is just well on Notel. He was saving up the money potentially for the Radiance. Now he started to build the Aghanims. Do you think it was still the initial idea to get the Radiance, and then he said, well, I'm dying,
It might have been, because he was holding on to, I think, 2,700 gold at one point, right? And then he got picked off in the woods by the smoke. So it is possible that he wanted to play it a tiny bit more greedy, you know, wait it out. Because if you look at Fly, he hasn't started skilling Aura yet. So maybe they're just not looking to hit so early of a timing. They just want to wait it out a little bit longer. He's opted to max out the Wave of Terror. And I mean, their Lina is closing in on level 6 too, which is going to be great for them. But for now, Vega's mobility is the thing that they always have to be worried about. Like, they have very good kill potential on, well, any hero, honestly. Like, a relocate in, you're just going to be going for the kill, you're going to throw out the stun. And if there's not a hero there to back you up, I think you just die. I think that's also part of the reason why they wanted to pick the Venge in this game. Obviously, a lot of the other supports were taken or banned out by that point, but this is the kind of support where you have a lot of single target stuns. Like, you have Stormhammer, you have Chaos Bolt. If you swap that hero, it's almost always a save, which is nice.
Gonna be able to keep him alive.
And then, of course, you have the synergy with the Tiny on top of that, so it's very, very good. But still a close game. I think that Vega are feeling pretty comfortable now that their relocate has come in, and they were pretty successful with the first one.
Yes. I mean, it is going to be this timing that, obviously, with the Alchemist building the Axe, the Tiny is going to have an insane Blink Axe timing. It's going to be, I mean, he's got the money for the Blink himself. It's just relying on Alk to finish off that Aghanim. So you're talking at the latest a 13-minute Blink Axe on Tiny, which is pretty damn scary
at this
point of the game.
It ain't bad. I think that's what they're... I don't want to call it a fallback mechanism. Like, obviously they had it in mind because we've seen him do it before in the past. And I think this is probably an even better lineup to have that hero because the Venge adds so much, like 36% base damage. A level 16 Tiny hits for, on average, he hits for like 300 damage at 16.
Yes,
okay, so
all base damage.
Yeah, 36% of that's like an extra 100 damage.
It pretty much is.
I mean, that's completely insane late game. It's good at dealing with the Phantasm.
And then, of course, the pack leaders are, as you're saying earlier.
Yeah. So pack leader is 30, Vlad's is 15, and then level 4 Vengeance Aura is 36.
All those percentages, I mean, it adds up.
It's painful. And the other thing, too, is Craggy always has to be kept in mind here because it works against the Phantasm illusions, which is great. You have the built-in cleave. You go for, like, Butterfly, maybe, in the ultra late game because neither of those heroes on Vega want to go for, MKB. It's just not at all. It's not a great pickup for them. So Butterfly could be an option for Miracle here. Or you could just go for the standard Assault Cuirass and Moon Shards, as we so often see nowadays. But looks like Solo is still having some connectivity issues here inside the game.
Yeah. I mean, talking about the fact that if we do go late, there's always the potential with the out. That you look at the lineup, and that's a lot of Ags. They could do quite a bit. I mean, Doom would love an
They're all good
Aghanims.
upgrades.
Lena would love an Aghanims. I mean, even Venge. It's not something that we see. It's the extra distance.
It's a 10-second cooldown, I think.
Yes, it's it's the Scepter cooldown. So you're saving someone every time. I mean, 10-second cooldown on the swap. I mean, the cooldown is, of course, shorter on the reality rift, but nonetheless, 1 out of every 2 rifts, you're being able to bring them back out and away.
I think it's going to be a race of if Vega can control the map enough versus if Monkey Business can just stack Miracle as hard as humanly possible and just be like, please hit everything with the tree.
12 minutes in, I'm pretty sure that we won't see Vega hold back any of the aggression that they've already been trying to show across the map. Things are coming out. Miracle just finding himself a regen here. They are trying to move up there. They want to try and catch someone out here. No one. And Solo, no tail. He's just sitting about less than 500 away from that completed Aghanims hit. So it's going to be coming out very, very shortly. Seema in the mid lane to find the XP for level 6, and all this bottom lane, Pasha has come out fairly far. There'll almost certainly be a relocate answer to this if the fight does kick on, and Moon doesn't even bother initially, he just gets himself out. He knows that the relocate will bring him in.
Well, the other thing, too, is Vega actually had a ward on the high ground there. Yeah. And they saw, like, I think, maybe all 4 heroes in the area. They definitely saw 3. I don't know if they ended up seeing no tail, but a little bit too risky for their taste.
There we go, no tail now with this midway. That should be the Aghanims there with this, pretty much. Or at least very, very close to being so. Yeah, this is going to be it. Oh, he's so close. He's so close.
He missed the CS, man.
He did. Come on, no tail.
Oh, relocate bottom?
Yeah, this is a dead Doom, I think, by the looks of it.
Oh, my God, yeah.
He's ripping pieces.
That damage.
He's gone. I mean, Monkey Business, they're going to try and look for something off the back of it. They are smoked up. They want to try and find a return bit of action. But straight away,
I love how they left, actually.
Yeah.
That was so good. Like, the movement coming out right now from Vega is nice. It's like, why would we actually stay around when we know we're going to be isolating our Sven? Like, he obviously can't come back with the relocate, so we'll just send him top, get a tower for free. We don't put anything really at risk.
Yeah, I mean, and there we go. So that's your Ags Tiny. With the blink as well.
He's so adorable. He has to swing it with 2 hands, man. He's not big enough.
There we go. Sometimes it's better to use 2. Yeah. 11 for 7 at the moment, 14 minutes in. In the jungle, crit. he's going to see Pasha. Pasha's going to be aware that Crit's hanging around as well. Monkey Business putting a lot of pressure on this bottom. They'd love to find this tier 1. That's your armlet now done onto the CK with the drums of the tread, so no one's going to be packing quite to punch. He has it level 10, so he's got the first point in the Phantasm. When he hits level 11, it's going to be very, very scary for anyone who runs into this CK IO combination.
Yeah, no one's already so tanky, actually. You turn the armlet on, you got like, what, 1900 health or something? 1800 maybe? And the Phantasm, if you get lucky, when you pop it, you can get...
what, 3 at level 2?
At level 2, yeah, you can get 3. And then at level 16, you can get 4.
It's pretty scary. I mean...
They have the damage to kill. Like,
they do.
That's the thing. And the other part of it is they have a different kind of playstyle. Monkey Business are going for maybe a little bit more late game oriented lineup. I mean, sure, they have a lot of chain stun, but Vega's mobility and map control is what's going to allow them to transition this game.
Now back towards the mid. No one solo mag moving forward across the jungle, but Monkey Business still keeping themselves preoccupied. Bottom, the blink is going to avoid the stun and the relocate. Isn't going to catch anyone initially. The pings are coming through here. Do Monkey Business want to try and fight this? Solo's going to look for the TP. He's not going to find it. Avalanche straight to the face here, and he's going to get taken down. They'll find themselves 1 kill now. No-Tail moving forward with the stun. There's a Doom onto Pasha. Now CK's trying to pull someone in. No one. He's looking for the kill onto Moon, but the light strike's been put. The wall has gone down. Moon's trying to walk this off here with the Scorched Earth. The buyback from Solo, trying to help this fight continue. Monkey Business at the moment just continue to retreat as the weave does begin to stack up. And oh, Miracle just jumps straight back in. We'll get the kill on Dazzle, but the Storm hammers to the face from 9 Pasha. And now no one bringing Miracle in here. The Iron Shell's on as well. There's your Phantasm. He's going to get 2 out as well. Moving on to Fly here with the illusions. Trying to force No-Tail back. The crits come through. That's going to be No-Tail down. Miracle, will he go down as well? He does kill Aya, but he loses his life. Now with the Storm Hammer onto Fly, they'll probably find him as well. They'll bring back in Moomiander there with a Rift. And now Fly, he's going to go down as well as Vega just clean up. They lose the Io twice with the dieback. They lose the Dazzle once, but they keep their cores alive and they kill all the cores plus the Venge of Monkey Business.
That was a great fight. Very fortunate that the Phantasm came up mid-engagement there. No one didn't get the max amount of illusions, but you can see the damage output is definitely there. As soon as they get on the target, they just explode. Especially with Pasha having Blink Dagger, they were able to reposition nicely in the fight. Even having lost the Dazzle instantly before he was able to really do much, I think he got a weave off. And that was about it.
He got a weave off at the start.
Yeah, and then he ended up dying. Even that, it doesn't matter. Like, the Tiny still needs more items. Like, he needs armor. He's probably going to need a butterfly on top of that. So I think he needs to build as tanky as possible to try to stop these team fights from going too heavily in favor of Vega. Because if you can't tank the Phantasm as Tiny, then
you just go.
I mean, Vega are always going to fight around that utility, right? They're either going to relocate on you when they know that you're alone, or they're going to fight around Phantasm.
Yeah, Vega want to go again. They've saw out where the fight's gone. They're going to smoke up. Now searching for Chaos Knight's going to move straight into all 5 of them, though. And here goes the fight. No-Tail starting to build up the concoction from the backlines. Miracle with the toss will take down the Dazzle. The wall is big, though. Monkey Business just getting shreked by the side of Vega, sorry. There's a buyback here from Moon on the Doom. But no one. He's looking for Miracle, but he's not going to find the kill. Doom there, returning to the fight, will be able to find one. They'll actually be able to get Mag as well here on the Darkseer. So it is a big cleanup there from Miracle. It initially looked a bit rocky for the side of Monkey Business, but that wasn't a bad thing because Tiny, he cleaned up at the end of the day.
He blinked in and I think he hit 4 people.
It was a big avalanche.
I mean, look at the damage
backside
that he did during the fight, right? Like, he did 3,800 damage. The next highest on his team did 1,100, okay? That just goes to show when he blinked in, he hit 4 with Avatos and then got 2 kills before they were unstunned.
Yeah,
If you start the fight 3v5, doesn't matter how good your vac wall is. They also didn't have Phantasm, which is why I thought that Vega might wait it out. Of course, 5-man smoking up there. There is always the opportunity that the ward didn't see everyone because it's placed around the Roshan pit, so it doesn't have like full high ground vision to the side shop or a secret shop.
Can they do anything here? They're going to relocate them in. They want to fight this Roshan. Here comes the Phantasm. He's going to get all 3 out. But Roshan's already down. The Aegis has been picked up by Tiny here. And Miracle's going to be the first to go. The Aegis is now down. The illusions are still up for no one, but the Light Strike bringing them low. It's a double kill here for 9 Bashu. Fly, he's stuck in the pit. And now with the Rift, bring in Miracle. And Miracle's got to try and get himself out. The Vacuum's going to miss, but the Chaos Bolt is not. And the Storm Hammer to the face of the Tiny as well. They'll get Miracle. It's a triple kill for Pasha as Vega clean up. Monkey Business did find Roshan and the Aegis, but the power of these guys, the man-fighting capabilities in such a confined space is is absolutely ridiculous.
It just goes to show the difference between A, having your ultimates available if you're Vega, and B, how the fight starts off. Because that time, no one was able to get his Phantasm off before Doom came out, and honestly, Moon didn't even get the spell off. He just died, like, immediately, I think, to it was Pasha. So they use Weave to scout the pit, they go in, they get a nice stun from the Sven. No one comes in from the side. He gets a Phantasm and just immediately kills Miracle. They get the Aegis popped, and after that, you've already lost the fight because your Alk can't do anything. So if your Alk doesn't have any farm and your Tiny's not carrying the fight for you,
they've got to try and do something on the defense here, and here we go. They're setting it up with the stun onto Noah. Oh! The vacuum wall is beautiful, catches them all. The Storm has been dropped out onto Doom. Doom did get the ult out onto Noah on the CK Miracle. Looking for the Avalanche, she's going to toss forward Moon Meander here, but the Vega has been popped by Mac, and now they just try and turn. Moon's incredibly low, they're going to lose the Doom here. He's going to be the first casualty of this fight. Miracle's going to get himself out, but Pasha with the Storm Armor, the God Strength as well. Miracle just melts. No one now moving forward for more. Mac's going to chase down Flyer on the sidelines of the supports, and the Darkseer and deal with him. Up to the high ground goes Solo and CK. They'll get the stun. No Tail's going to get taken down here. Fly will be the last to fall. A team wipe again as Vega just absolutely destroy Monkey Business in these engagements. I mean, you could tell Monkey Business, they chased Vega out of the base. They wanted to fight, but it did not work out at all.
It was an extremely well-placed Vac Wall coming in for Mag. Imagine if Pasha had stunned on top of that. Because he had his Stormhammer up, but I think he actually used Blink to run away, so it was probably still on cooldown by the time he came back in. If that landed, the fight would have been over in seconds.
Yeah.
So that's also something that Monkey Business have to fight around all the time. I just feel like their fights are so hard to win just based on the fact that if they don't blow heroes up at the start, they just can't take the engagement after that because the sustained damage output, a Phantasm, God Strength, you have Weave on top of that, you have a save with the Shallow Grave on top of it. Like, the Tiny needs to be able to almost 1v5 in these scenarios because you're casting Doom on a CK or the Sven. If these heroes have used their ultimates and you Doom them after the fact, it does nothing. Like, it actually does nothing. You don't Doom for damage, you Doom for the disable.
Yeah.
And just getting somebody out of the fight.
And these guys they just don't care. They just continue to hit.
Like last time, no one got doomed, so and he's like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to keep hitting you.
I've got a Darkseer with a mech. I mean...
This is a really good way to deal with Doom because a lot of people think of it as a hero that if you get doomed, you just kind of lose the fight and you can't do anything. But if you have heroes that, like Mass Serpent Wards is a good example. You drop it, and then the spell is already out. So even if you get doomed after that, it's like my damage is done, pretty much. So same thing with Phantasm, same thing with God Strength, because it doesn't purge the buff. It's just on. So even if you're doomed, you're still dealing damage, you know, you're still a threat, which I think Vega just knew that going in, and they drafted a very nice dual core lineup around it. They also did well in mid, they did well bottom. And after that, like, even though the Aghanim's timing on Miracle was still like, what, 13 minutes, I think it was?
Oh, God.
Maybe 14?
I've only just looked at the net worth, Andy.
Oh, it's not great.
Oh, my goodness.
It is not great.
Wow.
And the only reason that Tiny's up there is because he got pulled in Aghanims. So obviously he'd still be...
I don't think I've quite seen something like that.
If you take away 4,200, he'd be around the Darkseer's net worth right now.
That's not good for the Dire.
No, it's bad.
No.
Real bad. But again, I really love the way that Vega drafted and played this. I was a bit skeptical at the start because, you know, you give away Tiny Doom and I'm like, that's a pretty strong opening, right? Pretty strong. We've seen them play Alchemist with this hero in the past, and it had some pretty good effects, I would say, during the game. But Vega, they seem to have a very good answer for it.
I mean, we were saying earlier at the beginning of the game, if Vega find that point in this match where they've hit their peak and Monkey Business is still struggling to find anything, it's going to be just impossible for Monkey to deal with this.
Yep.
I mean, at this point, if Monkey Business can come back from this position, it's going to be quite something. Because Vega are just in such a position of power here. It's... Look at the graph. Have we seen it? It's a perfect line.
Yeah.
Just up. And it's not stopping.
It's not stopping.
I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw a graph that was pretty much X equals Y here. That's... Alright. I don't know. This is... Wow. Vega doing a lot better in Game 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Doing a lot better in Game 2.
I think they didn't have the same draft mentality as they did in the first game. I felt Hani kind of put it nicely. They drafted themselves kind of into a rough spot, and they had to outplay their opponent so badly to be able to win that game. And maybe, you know, maybe Vega are the kind of team who are okay with that. Maybe they say, you know what, we're confident, you know, we can play really well and just we can crush it. No big deal. And if they snowballed that top lane, who knows? Maybe they could have won that game. But here, I feel like their draft makes a lot more sense. And there's just no reason to put yourself in a position where you have to win based on like lucky engagements, you know? So I think that this is a much more Vega style that I would prefer seeing in the future. And they have played it very, very well on top of that, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's you know, having a Sven and CK lineup, you don't get more manly than that.
Well, you had to
all
out-manly a Tiny, a Doom,
yeah,
and an Alchemist. Like, those are 3 really beefy
it's
heroes.
true. It's true. And they're doing it. They're doing it with quite some style here. I hope they'll be able to continue in a minute, because I want to see some more action. And,
yeah, I do too.
Vega are giving us the action. And Monkey Business are, unfortunately for them at least, on the receiving end of it each and every time.
Yep. I think one other thing to keep in mind for this particular game and draft is the first bans were not really super common, right? So Doom was left in the pool, Brood was left in the pool, Wisp was left in the pool. That doesn't happen very often. Like, all those heroes are not usually there.
Nope.
So as soon as they first pick Wisp, Monkey Business are like, we get Doom and another hero?
Yep.
They were happy with that, you know? They're thinking, all right, we're off to a pretty solid start. And any captain would think that, because Doom is obviously very strong.
Yep.
So maybe they just put themselves into a spot where Vega go for the support picks immediately. They started Wisp, Dazzle.
Yep.
Right, and they're thinking, okay, well, obviously good heroes, but we don't know what their lanes are going to be yet.
Nope.
And then they pick Alchemist.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, well, now we got our lanes pretty much decided. Yep. Okay, so that's really important here, because when you pick those 3 heroes, you're basically saying, we got our safe laner, we got our mid, we got our off lane. Vega already know what your lanes are going to be at that point, and you're only like 3 or 4 picks in. And when the other team can decide that and just say, all right, well, we can win this in a 2v1 if we put the Wisp in the CK mid. We can win this lane in a 2v1 if we put the Sven in the Dazzle bottom. We've already just decided that our laning phase is going to go well for us. And where is the rotation coming in? Like, sure, maybe the Venge and the Lina didn't do a lot during the early game. You know, they didn't rotate a lot. They didn't go for kills. They were kind of just sitting around top. I think Crit was actually level 1 for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we saw that obviously that Venge came to the mid lane. Fly tried to help out the help out No Tail, but at that point it was the lane wasn't pretty.
He's not good in a dual lane unless you're like maxing spray and stun. And obviously at that point I think he was like level 4 or 5, so he's not going to have a huge amount of kill potential even with a Venge helping. And Venge isn't even really a good lane support in the first place. Like, she has crappy range. Her stun range isn't even that big.
We don't see the hero a lot.
We do not see the hero.
We do not see the hero a lot.
I can see why it was picked here.
We used to. Was it? I can't remember. It was about 6.83 or something. Venge was pretty high tier. There was a period where Venge was
maybe a bit
pretty up
that.
there. Was that back in the day of kind of the snowballing and just having the? There was a point at least.
There was a point.
Venge has fallen off massively over the last course of
it's been
6 months to a year.
Yeah. It's been a while. Yeah. But I think back then there was also a lot less focus on just like non-stop aggression, you know, because Venge is that hero where, okay, it's good for a clutch save. Maybe you can swap in a high priority target and kill it.
Which I think is, I imagine this game they picked it, as you said, because of the aura with the Tiny and because of the ability to save people from that kind of CK and the stun initiations of Vega.
That part's good. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, if you're trying to save, you're basically a martyr for your team. You're like trying to kill yourself because you're saying, okay, I'm going to swap my core and I'm going to let them live, but I die. Dazzle pretty much does the same thing, except he offers more teamfight potential. He's better in lane.
Yeah. Dazzle,
and I also think he has a better late game.
I mean, there's a reason why I imagine Dazzle's kind of got to be in like the top 5 most picked this patch.
Oh, easily.
And Venge has got to be probably in towards the lower, at least lane supports. It's
for sure.
Not worked out for Monkey Business so far. You know, that's for sure.
The Venge thing was because her turret could pull creeps and it would stack this and had like a billion more range at it now.
That's true.
Does it not stack anymore?
It still does.
Yeah, okay.
Stacking to non-stacking back to stacking.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know. So
they can hear him still quietly.
Lumi is
Lumi's like an ethereal voice in our heads.
Lumi is saying that they nerfed Wave of Terror basically to an extent where it's a lot harder to stack with it nowadays than it used to be. So that's one of the reasons why they're not picked. And I would say that the last couple of patches have been pretty heavily stack-based. You know, you stack creep camps, you try to get your mid player like Shadow Fiend, who has been relevant, I would say, for multiple patches.
I mean, especially, with the Alchemist.
Yeah.
It's all about this, which they did get going. They got a good amount of stacks, but
they did.
They got the early ags for the Tiny. He is, of course, at the top of the net worth, but it was always going to be about how much he could achieve. And he's not had a bad game, Miracle, by no means. You know, he's had 9 kills, but each of these fights we're just seeing straight away, getting caught out by one of the stuns, and I mean, they can swap him out, but then your Avenger's going to die, and then Vega are just going to move on and go, oh, that's where you put him, and they'll kill him at the end.
I think Vega, when they have all of their ultimates up, it's too hard to fight it. Like, you have to open a fight where you maybe kill... Like, who do you actually kill? Like, killing the Wisp would be good. Killing the Darkseer would be good. Killing the Dazzle would be good. I don't think you can go for either core at this point. Because if they get relocated or graved, you actually just lose the fight straight away because you've blown everything on one hero, and then they have Vac Wall to fall back on. They can, like I said, they can relocate the hero out. You got God Strength, you got Phantasm. Like, it's just, it's ugly.
C9
What is
bladder
that?
control.
Wow.
Zeus holding his bladder. Good one. Good old Johan. Good old No-Tail.
I'm a fan.
Have we got anything else good? Stay humble and reduce ego. My moon meander. I'll go in. It looks like his effigies are a little bit strange. He's wearing his helmet on his chest for some reason.
That's a DK, right?
That, I think it was before the accident, yeah.
Before the accident.
He's not looking in too great shape here at the moment. Bits and bobs hanging off him elsewhere.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, Monkey Business, they're going to have to get like a really clutch smoke.
I mean, they could still do it.
Yeah, but it's going to be so hard. It's going to be so hard.
It's, yeah.
Like what, their Lina still has level 1 Laguna.
I mean, that's something.
It is.
It's not a lot.
It's something, but it's not.
It's
like,
not the thing.
It's not great. I mean, that Sven has BKB finish on the courier. He just needs to send it out. No one working his way towards Manta almost has it completed. Has well over 2,000 health with the armlet toggled on. Like, a level 1 Laguna is just not really that effective at this point. That's why I think they just have to kill a support somehow. Like, they have to kill the Wisp, they have to kill the Dazzle, and then maybe hope that you can, like, kite out the duration of Phantasm and God Strength. Like, just run around, use your Yules, like, keep stunning them, you know, run, kite them out. But if the Wisp is alive, it's a lot harder to do that. Because it can relocate behind you. The tether speed obviously helps a lot. So you can just get the CK in point blank, get that Chaos Bolt off, and just kill the hero.
Well, the pause continues here. Who are we waiting for? It is... It's Crit by the looks of it, as well as Lina.
Yeah, he apparently DC'd off of voice comm as well, so...
Oh, God.
They don't actually have any idea where he is.
Hopefully that's all right.
Yeah.
Come on. But nonetheless, it's... Monkey Business have seen better... I mean, the game one, when you think back to that, Monkey Business's performance was... it was on point.
Yeah.
It really was. But this game, Vega... They're on. And this is what we've kind of seen from Vega, I feel, in the last few series. Who was it they were playing against the other day where they lost the first game and they did not look great? But in the second game, they go, all right.
Was it NLG?
Was it NLG? I want to say NLG. I think they lost the first game too. Yeah. And then it was a bit like, whoa. But then Vega...
And then everyone was like, okay, NLG actually did really well. Yeah. I think it was NLG, actually. We'll have to double check just to make sure. But looks like Crit is back. Can have the game resumed here in just a second.
There we go, guys. Ladies and gentlemen at home, thank you very much for bearing with us. We do appreciate you all being patient at home and in Twitch chat. And here we go. We've got some more Dota 2 for you, just for those who waited. Here we go. Back on with Vega and Monkey Business as Vega continue to push it. And we'll take this tier 2 in the top lane. Let's see what Monkey Business have as an answer. They're all back up. So we'll see when the next bit of action does kick off. But for the time being, Vega, they're just going to farm at the Dire jungle. And Monkey Business are going to be left in a position where they've really got to think about their next move incredibly carefully, because at this point it could potentially be their last. Guardian Greaves now in the Darkseer.
That is that's like the dream for Vega. It's like, oh, if they mess up once, we win. Especially if they're just sitting right outside of your base. But I think they can probably wait it out for now. I'm really like struggling to find a great option for Monkey Business right now, and a lot of it stems from the fact that when you're behind against Wisp, your map control becomes such an issue for you because you can just be ganked at any given point. Like, the only person who can potentially get away from it is probably Miracle, because he has Blink and Shadow Blade. So because of the fact that they've backed, Miracle's going to look for a pick here. He might be able to find the Wisp, but he cannot kill Mag, too much health. He needs to find a squishier target.
He can't reveal himself as surely. Miracle.
Okay.
Oh, Miracle.
He's going to blink.
Is he? He needs to get himself the hell out of there.
Oh! Close.
That was a...
That was manly.
That was it, yeah.
That was very manly.
That was Miracle going in.
But I think that's one way to deal with this kind of situation when you're really struggling for map control and to push lanes out. You want to keep Vega away from your base as long as you can without having to commit to a fight. So you just use your Tiny's mobility to just push the waves out, maybe go for some creep cutting to delay the game until you can get more items up on your other heroes. Because, I mean, look at this Alchemist. He's level 11. He's got a freaking medallion and 900 HP. You tell me what that hero's going to do during a team fight outside of throw a stun and an acid spray. Like, he does nothing. This Tiny needed to carry ultra hard.
Oh, here we go. Vega, they're ready to go, and the Phantasms are going to be lucky.
Oh, God.
Right. What's the plan, Busniess?
Hello?
Oh, hello.
That's not us, is it?
Well. Okay. That's, yeah. Right. Yep. Okay.
Interesting.
All right.
Let's pretend that it's Dota and not us.
Okay.
What is the counterplay here from Monkey Business outside of the fact that they just try to nuke down these Phantasms and hope that they can hold their base because they do not have Glyph?
Find out next time on Reborn.
It just...
okay.
Is yours going?
We're back in. We're back in. Let's get ourselves back in. And
all right, what's happening?
Well, they're actually struggling a little bit here, Vega, but not that much. Not that much. They've already killed Lina here. Monkey Business can't do a lot to stop against this. Miracle gets dragged in. There's going to be a buyback here from Miracle. There was the Doom dropped onto Mag. They'll stick to the racks. The Greaves now coming out as well. Pasha with the Stormhammer onto No-Tail. No-Tail gets bought in by no one, and the Warp Vacuum comes down. Dragged in. There's even a relocate out on top. The BM relocate from Solo just coming in on his own, throwing around his balls and forcing Monkey Business back to base, providing the space that Vega need to finish off this bottom set of racks, and they'll get it. So that's going to be the second set of racks down here against the side of Monkey Business. Miracle is Shadow Bladed up. Let's see if he can find anything here. And, well, he's going to try it, and we can... is that appearing on the screen? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're
good. Seeing some kind of... yeah. Miracle's looking a little bit... kind of pretty much in the shape. This kind of just emphasizes how Monkey Business are feeling at this point. Just underfarmed, underfed, 32-14. Vega with the lead. Had a look for Roshan. It's not quite up yet. So
I mean, I can't even really put this on Miracle because I feel like he actually played well, given how the game was going.
Yeah, Miracle did play well, yeah.
But it's so hard to fight into Vega's lineup. Like, you have to fight against Weave, Phantasm.
Oh, Miracle. Okay, Chaos Ball to the face here. Miracle dying quickly. Mag with a 4-5-man vacuum wall from this crazy SFB. And now they're moving forward for more. There's going to be the swap back from Fly, keeping No-Tail alive, but it's not going to be able to save Moon. Moon's going to drop here on the Doom. Miracle gets himself into the sideline, but they're relocating straight on top of the H, and he's solo on his own again, brings in no one as well with the Rift, and now it's the stun from Pasha. GG is called. The game is over. Vega just taking this game in classic CIS in-your-face fashion, and Monkey Business just don't know what hit them.
I really loved the draft of Vega this game. I saw the lanes, the way they were shaping up. I really think that giving away all three of your cores so early and just giving Vega a clear idea of what your laning phase would look like was a mistake. Because they didn't do anything with the laning phase outside of just, okay, No-Tail's gonna farm an Ags for the Tiny. They defended their stacks, they got some kills on Vega, that was great, but how do you fight it? It really seems like every time we get to like 20 minutes in the game today, the team feels like it's so hard for them to lose. Like the first game, obviously it was Monkey Business because they had Jakiro pushing power, they had Primal Split. It was really hard for Vega to 5-man them. In this game, it was the same. It's like they did all right in the lanes, Monkey Business. Like maybe they lost, I guess, one really hard, which was bottom because the Doom died a few times.
Yes, he did a couple of...
But as soon as it gets to mid-game, Monkey Business don't have an answer for Vega. Like they actually cannot fight them.
It was an impressive draft from Vega, and it was more impressive to see them just pull it off. They knew the fights that they could take. Monkey Business were just left off guard, and it wasn't their game. So the series does end 1-1 between the two teams. I think that's kind of what we were predicting. We felt that both teams had the potential to take a game from each other. But that is it, of course, for the first series. The series are 2-game series here in the DreamLeague League play, and that's it from myself and Andy for the time being. We'll be back with the second series of the day personally, but don't go anywhere because we are going to send you straight over to the panelists who are going to give you some very, very exciting lowdown on the showdown. We'll see you guys later.